Hello Libra, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of February 19th through 25th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing, okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, we've got a 6 of Wands to start us out. That's a very lovely card, very beautiful, very balanced, a very harmonious energy coming from you right now. Okay, so I think we're off to a pretty good start. But let's see what kind of energies are coming out in our Dove and Serpent spread. This looks pretty interesting here. Gotta say. Okay, we're going to use our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. Before I forget, we're going to use the Antique Anatomy Tarot. Whoop, that one jumped out. That could be our mystery card. We'll leave that right over here. We won't look at it until the very end. And hopefully that will tie everything together and, you know, give us the confirmation that we're looking for right at the very end of things. Okay. So the first card that we came across was this 6 of Wands, and just looking around here quickly, I see that we have some aces, we have some earth, we have some water, we have some air and fire, we've got some earth, some water, some earth, and then a major. So it feels pretty balanced, but it feels like there's one major influence in your life right now. There's kind of like one core, one central source of energy for you. But we'll get to that as we go through the rest of the cards here. The first one is this 6 of Wands. Now, I love this card. This is a card that's all about victory. This is all about triumphing over obstacles. This is about there being a struggle, a fight, and then you accomplish something. You come out on top, you succeed, you kind of get your way. But it's in a way that's very, very balanced, very fair, very harmonious, very compassionate, right? And I feel like that's kind of the person that you are. I feel like you're someone who is a very gracious winner, as well as a very kind of gracious loser sometimes too. You know, we all kind of have ups and downs. But I feel like you're very tolerant of people. I feel like you're very accepting. You're very forgiving even, right? So it's almost like there is some sort of a struggle going on where you feel like you shouldn't have to defend yourself. You shouldn't have to face this obstacle, right? It's just like it's not through anything that you've done to create this kind of situation. But I feel like you've had to kind of deal with something, but you don't hold any grudges. You don't have a lot of animosity towards the other people involved or towards the situation. There's none of this kind of anger or frustration for having to go through something like this. It's just you kind of accept the circumstances. So I feel like you're kind of one of these very, very forgiving people, but you also definitely stand up for yourself. You know what I mean? And it's almost like it doesn't really take very much to kind of to push you off balance, right? So you're very quick to respond to challenges or to any kind of obstacles, roadblocks, any kind of negative events, anything that you feel warrants your involvement, your activity. I think you're very quick to act, you know? And I don't think it takes much to really disturb this kind of Libra balance that we have. So I think that's part of the work this week, is just to try to remain centered and not let the little things push us off balance, but always be ready to tackle those things that do need our attention and that need our quick response, right? Because we want to maintain this 6. We want to maintain this victory and this feeling of doing what's best for us and succeeding in our goals, right? Now, this, could be misconstrued as you always have to get your way, you always have to win. It's not about that, but it's about really putting forth your best effort to stay the course, to whatever your will is, whatever your goals, your plans, your aspirations are. We're trying to stay focused on that while we deal with the changing circumstances around us. Okay? So you're always trying to be victorious, even if it's over your own reactions or over the situation altogether, right? But again, you do so in a very generous way, a very gracious, winner. You're very honorable in that way. You want everyone to succeed. You really would prefer a win-win situation rather than, just having to really dominate someone to get your way, right? That's not the kind of person you are. So you're very inclusive, very tolerant, and it's just like if you do win a sporting game or some kind of a fight, some kind of an event, it's like you're the person that's going to, take the losing team out to dinner, that kind of thing. Take everybody out for drinks or something. You're a very gracious winner, okay? And I think, again, it doesn't take much to really push you into the fight. It's like we're balanced. I mean, you're Libra, right? So we've got that sense of balance, but I just think that we're not so steady yet, and the little things can still kind of push us off balance and elicit a reaction from us that maybe in hindsight we wouldn't really have chosen that reaction, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit knee-jerk. It's a little bit reactionary rather than maintaining the focus and really in that moment doing the kind of mental analysis to see, okay, is this something I need to take care of right now? Or is this just something minor that's not really affecting my main course, my trajectory, So, but I feel like that's kind of who you are, and that's where we are this week. Okay, so I think there are challenges, some large, some small. We kind of have to pick our battles. Because a lot of energy goes into this kind of victory of always feeling like you always have to kind of defend yourself to maintain that number one position. But I think there are some things going on that really don't need your involvement, that they're not going to knock you out of the number one spot. You know what I mean? And so it feels a little competitive, but we don't see any of the fives that I would expect to see in something that was more competitive in nature. So I feel like this is really a victory over your own reactions more than it is any particular challenge that's coming your way. Okay, but let's look at these other cards and see what might be coming your way. Well, first of all, we've got this Ace of Cups that I think is crossing your path this week. And with the Ace of Cups, it really is about a new inspiration, maybe a rediscovery of what is important to you, a rediscovery of what really has meaning in your life, okay? And it could be that through these, many challenges that we've been going through, I think it feels as if there were a lot of obstacles recently. Okay, a lot of little things. It doesn't feel like it's one big thing. It feels like there were a lot of little obstacles recently. Little challenges, little annoyances, just little fires to put out everywhere, And I think in all of that busyness, all of that hustle, you maybe have lost a little bit of focus on what your goals really are. What is your life's purpose right now at this moment? Okay. I think this is the kind of key question for you this week is what is underneath everything, all of the activity, all of your responsibilities, all of the work that you do, the busyness of your life. What is it that you really are after? What are you doing? What are you working toward? What is your ultimate goal? What is your purpose and your meaning in life? And I think what we're trying to do with this Six of Wands and this Ace of Cups is we're trying to go from the manifested, concrete, literal examples and go as abstract as possible, okay? To get to that core meaning here of that ace. We have to use these 6 wands, this fiery energy, to burn away all of the concrete examples. When you come up with an idea, when you're answering this question to yourself or, to your partner or, wherever, you have to always take it one step further, So if you're, just as an example, if you're looking at some of these cards, maybe you're in the medical field, because of the Sun card here, possibly with also this Ace of Discs back here, maybe it's something maybe it's something medical related. So if you say that your ultimate purpose is to, become a nurse or a doctor, okay, well, okay, that's a practical example. What can we do to take it one step beyond that? Well, maybe your goal is to really, to help other people. Or maybe that's not really your goal. Maybe your goal is to have the recognition and the accomplishment of that kind of a successful profession. So we really have to take it beyond just the practical example to find out what our motivations really are, because I think that's maybe what is being a little bit clouded by some of this busyness, some of this activity, some of the, like we were talking about, the challenges that are coming our way. This goes this way. The challenges, like the changing circumstances around us, are keeping us engaged, keeping us involved. We're constantly being kind of tilted in our balance, and we're constantly being pulled into more and more activities, challenges, competitions, struggles, annoyances, frustrations, these things that we have to deal with, right? We're constantly being pulled into those, and I think it's starting to cloud our kind of original purpose, right? What is this Ace of Cups for you? Okay. We're going to go now to, let's do the recent past. And this isn't the Ace of Pentacles that we were talking about. This is telling me that there's something that you just recently started on the physical plane. This could be, well, it could be in addition to the family, but I think that this was some kind of a career engagement. I think this is maybe you started a new career, maybe you started school for something new, maybe for that nurse or doctor aspiration that you have. Maybe you started something, some sort of educational thing related to the medical field, though we don't see anything else here really indicating education, so it feels maybe more like a career that you started. You started with a new company, or you started down this path in some way. Okay. I think that you recently took, within the last year, I would say you recently took the first steps towards this new career path. Okay. And it feels medical to me, but it may not be anything medical. I feel like it's in some way related to health or wellness or well-being. So, it doesn't necessarily mean a nurse or a doctor. There's all sorts of health-related professions and careers and, opportunities out there. But I think it's something related to the health and wellness of others. Okay, I feel like that's what you're kind of drawn to. But at recent past, there was something that started. Either you took the first step toward the education, or you made the first efforts to get hired on somewhere, or to advance this career in some way, or you made some moves for that. Okay? And I think that's kind of what is affecting the present, right? It feels like with that kind of new effort, that new venture, that new step that you took, it feels like that is just creating all these little problems, all these little fires everywhere. It could just be like one of these situations where anything that could go wrong seems like it is going wrong, right? And I think that's where we get this really beautiful Six of Wands, okay? So this is showing me that, yes, there may be a lot of these little things that are just like annoyances. They're not like big problems. They're just like, little frustrations, little fires everywhere. I think you do a really good job of putting them out and dealing with them, but I think it's kind of starting to weigh on you a little bit, and it's just like, God, everything that could kind of go wrong, just from like, sprain your ankle, your car gets a flat, or, just whatever, there's a power outage for the night, or just these little things, the internet isn't working, or, your phone froze and you got to reboot it a million times. Just these little things. And I'm sure there's so many other examples. So those are just what kind of happened to me recently. There's all these challenges, but it's nothing major. It's just these little annoyances. And to me, it's feeling this kind of frustration, or it's building this this outlook that you have so much externally to deal with, because it just seems like one thing after another keeps happening, right? And then so we're getting further and further away from our original aim, which Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. In the immediate future, Four of Wands. Okay. Four of Wands is completion. So I think within the next 4 months, let's say, whatever this first step is that you've taken, I think you're going to accomplish it. I think things are going to start running smoothly here, okay? If this was, you started school, or you're starting a new career, starting a new job, starting some kind of new, could be a new business, that I feel is related to the health and well-being of other people in some way, maybe indirectly, maybe abstractly. I feel like you're going to get things really rolling within the next 4 months, okay? And I think that that is really contingent upon you rediscovering what this essential purpose is, in this abstract way. The most abstract and simple way that you can formulate this idea is going to be what sustains you. And it's almost like you're going to be using it as a mantra, as an affirmation, as a positive reminder, a daily reminder of why you're going through all of these frustrations, because the external circumstances will change. They will continue to change. But there's still this central idea. And this central idea, this purpose, this true meaning that you have, this ace, is really what is at the center of this wheel here, this Four of Wands in this wheel formation. It's really at the center. So as this wheel turns, we have a rhythm, we have a cycle. Yeah, things are going to continue to change. The wheel is turning and you're going forward over the road, So wherever the wheel meets the road is going to be new circumstances. Those variables are constantly changing, new challenges, new frustrations, new opportunities, new directions. Environments are going to change. People are going to change. The external world is constantly changing, right? That's the only constant. But we are creating, by way of this discovery, we're creating something else that's unchanging. This is your will. This is your purpose. This is the reason, really, in the most abstract, the most philosophical way that you can formulate it, okay, of why you're enduring all of this change, all of this rhythm, and this kind of, really putting your efforts here when the rubber meets the road. You're right there in it, okay? You're creating something that's also constant. And I think that's what's going to bring about this kind of rhythmic, this kind of, this really good flow. Everything's going to be in place. And I think, like I said, within about 4 months, I think everything's going to really just be rolling, and you're going to get into the swing of it, and it's going to go by really fast. I think it's going to be summertime before we know it. And I think at that point, maybe you're finished. Maybe this is a schooling thing that's about 3 or 4 months long. Maybe this is that new career, that new business. And within this few months, I think things are going to settle. Things are going to be established in a nice way, right? We're taking our will, we're taking our purpose, our intentions, and we're manifesting it into this four, right? The fours are all about a stable base, a foundation, an organization of manifestation, right? Most of the other fours are not in the form of a circle, though. They're in the form of that square, right? The four of discs, it's a square. So the reason that this is a circle is to emphasize that this is constantly changing, that the will, that your fire energy, your spiritual energy, has to be a constant, okay? But the circumstances around it are always changing. I think that's an important thing. Let's go to the top of the path of the dove here and talk about this Eight of Swords. This is not one of my favorite cards, but that's my personal bias. This card here at the top of everything, this shows me that you're a thinker, that you are a planner, that you almost enjoy figuring things out, you know? I think you're the type of person that really puts a lot of thought into everything that you do. You have ideas, a plethora of ideas, and I think it really is a joy for you to manifest those ideas. Okay? And I think as you do that, you are able to adapt to the circumstances. It's not like you have a vision, you have one idea, and you want it to manifest exactly how you picture it. There's no variability, there's no compromise. It's just, this is the way I want it, and this is how it has to be. You're the type of person that will allow your vision and your idea to take shape as it evolves, as it manifests, right? And you see the difference here, right? One is kind of a very narrow way to look at things, and I think limits your ability to really manifest your goals, your desires, your will, your aspirations, okay? So rather than do that, which is kind of this, this Eight of Swords energy, you are more accepting, and that's kind of where we kind of get this balance with the Six of Wands, okay? You have the possibility, you run the risk maybe of being narrow in your visions, of expecting things to be exact certain way. But I think you've learned throughout your life that you have to allow for changes, you have to allow for compromises, you have to allow for your idea to really take shape and manifest in its own way, right? Because you're not living in a vacuum. It's not just you and you're manifesting your goals and desires and aspirations. There's an entire universe around us, okay? And, it's like a butterfly effect. There's a butterfly flaps its wing in Fiji, and your idea has another subtle influence that helps it change, that colors it a certain way as it's manifesting. And I think throughout your life you've learned how to incorporate this, how to accept this, how to allow for this. This is like the environmental influence on the way this thing is growing. Whatever it is, if it's your life purpose, if it's your relationships with other people, if it's just your belief system and the way that you see the world. You're always allowing for these environmental influences to mold and change and kind of, color your aspiration, what's coming from within you, what's coming from this Ace of Cups, okay? And I think that's a very important skill and talent for Libra, is to be able to compromise, always looking for the diplomatic solution to things, and all the while maintaining this core purpose. You're not straying from what you believe, from what you want, from what your goals and aspirations are, but you understand that when these things manifest, they're going to have other influences, right? You're not living in a vacuum. Down beneath everything is this Two of Wands. This is, again, kind of related to the Six of Wands a little bit. This maybe is where the Six of Wands is coming from. This is your latent expectation, perhaps, that you will always be in control. And this, I think, is something that we've been learning as life goes on, just like this Eight of Swords, You've been learning that you don't need to control everything. And again, with that Six of Wands, you feel like every little thing needs your attention. Every little kind of trifling annoyance and frustration needs you to act on it and fix it and correct it. And I think we're learning as we go that these are just the kind of natural fluctuations, the swirling of energy around us. And it's always going to be like that. The only constant in life is that changing environment. Unless we can build something constant with this Ace of Cups, right? So I feel like we're kind of letting go of this need to control everything. This need to be involved in everything, and it's that acceptance of the environment around us that is always changing, right? Your life is changing, you're changing, the people around you are changing. You blink your eye and the world is completely different than it was a split second ago, okay? And I think it's something that we're learning to accept, we're learning to utilize that to help us manifest, to kind of, hop onto that momentum and use it rather than push against it, And that's, I want to bring up this Jing card. Okay. A lot of people use Oracle decks and things. I wanted to try something different, so I got this Jing deck of cards. And this is the card that represents Libra, right? This is fire over wind, air. Fire over air, right? And that's Libra. You're the cardinal air sign. And this card is all about having a purpose and yet adapting to the circumstances and the situation around us. Adapting to the changes that are taking place around us, okay? And utilizing the signs from the external world to help us on our path. You know, this person here is fishing at the river by the village, and that river's never the same river. They have to adapt to the changing river. They have to adapt to the village, the changing environment that they're in, the needs of the people. Their goal is to, you know, sustain their village or to contribute to their community. Well, they have to adapt to the changing river. They never know how many fish they're going to catch. They never know how many people are in the village that need the fish. And maybe they used to go to this fishing spot with a loved one, a friend, a family member. That's not there anymore, but they're still there doing it. The environment has changed, but their will has not. Their purpose has not changed. Okay? And they're adapting to the environment. They see the birds around them. Maybe that is a sign that today's going to be a good day for fishing. Okay? Maybe this card is really not even about this person fishing. Maybe it's really about the birds. Maybe the birds are adapting to the environment. Maybe the birds have always had one singular purpose, you know, to thrive, to procreate, propagate the species. And they're adapting to this environment that's changed quite a bit for their species in the last, you know, few hundred years, 1,000 years, whatever. So now they know when they see that fisherman, they know, okay, maybe there's going to be some fish over there. So they're adapting. They're using the changes in their environment to help them further their purpose, their goals, their aspirations. So maybe this card's really about the birds and not about the person fishing. But either way you look at it, I think it's a good representation of Libra at this time. And I want to start using those I Ching cards more because I think the Eastern wisdom, especially in the E, is very profound. It's difficult to penetrate those energies, you know. So maybe we can do that together. Anyway, we're going to move over to the Path of the Serpent now. This video is going a little bit long. First card here is the Seven of Pentacles. This is going to be rather quick here. I think that you're looking for a way to manifest this that is both financially and physically successful, but that also has that fulfillment, right? This card's not about failure. I know it's a dark card. It looks like our tree never bared fruit. I don't know. It never produced fruit. But this is not your concern. I mean, yes, you want the stability and the financial income, and you want the longevity, and you want that, and we see that at the end of the Path of the Serpent, and you're going to get that. But it's about more than that for you. It's about the spiritual fulfillment. It's about the fulfillment of this Ace of Cups, really. So it's not just the income. It's not just the revenue. Okay, and I don't want comments saying that your business is going to fail or that you're going to be, you're not going to be successful here, that you're not going to get any money. No, I think that you are. I think that the income is coming, okay? Path of the Serpent is showing me that already. But I don't think that's the only factor for you. I think you need something fulfilling. You need something that's going to be a representation, however it may change, however it may evolve as you progress, a representation of this one constant Ace of Cups, okay? But the environment will change. The people will change. You will change. The place that you work will change. Maybe the career field itself will change. How this manifests, how the Ace of Cups manifests, will inevitably change in some way, right? It's not going to be that pure representation that you have in your head. It's going to look differently day to day, moment to moment, really. But as long as it still has that purpose, then that's what you're after. Okay? And the money will come. But you're after this this Ace of Cups component to be always in that manifestation. Okay? And I think using that Ace of Cups as your compass will kind of guide you in the right direction through all of the changes, all of the constant changes around you. Okay? Now, in the environment, this is the Sun card, the 19th mystery of the tarot. This could be a representation of the desire to help other people. How is the path of the dove manifesting? Well, maybe as this need or this desire, this will, this aspiration to contribute to other people's health and well-being in some way. You know, whether it's medical, whether it's something holistic, whether it's you're starting your own business, whether it's physical therapist or massage therapist, or maybe you're doing some kind of spiritual work, some kind of healing, energetic work, something that contributes to the health and well-being of other people. Okay. And this is also telling me that your environment is going to be one of wealth and success. That as long as you have this Ace of Cups within you, behind you, and around you and in this work, you're going to be tremendously successful, both spiritually and energetically successful, but I think the finances too. Okay. There may be an R name involved here somewhere. If there's the business maybe that you're starting or the company that you work for starts with an R, something like that. I'm getting an R sound that's involved here somewhere. I think this is also talking about what your biggest asset, what your biggest resource is right now. And that is, I think, the outward expression of who you are, like your personality, the energy that you're giving off, you're radiating, like this cheerfulness, this happiness, this light and love. I think that's your greatest asset right now, is the way that you connect with people. Right? And like I said, you're the kind of person that even if you maybe lose a situation, you're taking everybody out for dinner afterwards, right? Or if you're the winner, you're taking the losing team out for drinks. You know what I mean? Like you're that kind of a person. You have that kind of personality. I feel a real radiance from you. And I think that is definitely something that's going to work for you this week. Okay. The next card is this water sign person. I feel like this is an older feminine energy in your life that may be either at odds with you in some way. I feel like you're worried about them, or you're worried how they're going to react, or you're worried if they're going to accept your plans, if they're going to accept your intentions, accept your choices maybe. I don't know who this water sign person is. I feel older female. They may be that R name, actually, but I don't think they're the R name. I think the R name is the path of the dove, or maybe this earth card here, this Queen of Pentacles. But I think this is you at the end of it all. This is you really with this satisfaction. This is you kind of sitting on your throne and admiring what you've accomplished, right? Temporarily resting at the end of this path. Okay, it's at the end of the path. You're sitting down temporarily. This is just one resting place. You're not at the summit yet. It's just, another base camp, right? Camp 4, maybe. But you have a sense of pride about you in the future here. I feel like you're very satisfied with what you're accomplishing. Not because you've got all the riches, you've got all the money, right? Which I think you will. But you have this satisfaction that you've stayed true to your purpose despite everything that happens in your life. All of the challenges that are thrown your way, right? All of the people that come and go, all of the situations that come and go, all of the jobs and stuff that come and go, all of your moods that come and go. You've maintained your purpose, and now you're kind of sitting pretty at the end of it all. But this is a temporary resting place. Okay, let's see maybe what comes next with this mystery card, and see how this is going to either tie everything together or maybe lead us into the future about what the next adventure maybe is. Okay. Well, we see the Empress. That's the Empress card. Beautiful card. Antique Anatomy Tarot. With the Empress here, I really feel like you are... this is like reinforcing this idea that you're contributing to the well-being of other people. So I feel like there's a real compassion in you. You really do care about the world, about other people in your life, about your friends, your family, about perfect strangers. You like that diplomatic resolution to things where you want everybody to feel like they've won. You want everybody to leave your presence feeling better than when they arrived, you know? And that's the mark of a good Empress. It's not gender specific, but this is that energy that really does want people to respect and honor and acknowledge their authority, but they want people, this is the key, they want people to leave their presence feeling better than when they came in, okay? And that, I think, is your vibe. That, I think, is what ties all of this together. Even if this isn't healthcare related, which I still feel like it is, but we're abstracting even further than that. It may not be healthcare related. It may not be that you want to directly contribute to the health and well-being of other people. No, it may be that you just want other people to leave your business, your presence, your store, your whatever, to leave their interaction with you feeling better than when they came in, better off than when they came in, financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever the case is, right? So see how we're abstracting, like we said at the very beginning, where we're taking the concrete examples and we're trying to kind of extrapolate, we're trying to go beyond those into into just maybe a more generalized way to express this energy, okay? So I think this is a wonderful confirmation, and I hope you'll leave me some comments. Let me know what you think of this reading. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling. Just, I love hearing from everyone. I read every comment. We're going to take a look in the extended. If you want to stick around, click on the link that is right up here, and you can have access to all of the extendeds for the weeklies and monthly videos. This was your weekly tarot reading for February 19th through 25th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.